Over my last few months of collecting, I've definitely come to terms that I have a new favorite rarity. I used to be ultimate rares all day, every day, baby. But recently, after I've acquired a few of these cards, I just can't help it. The Starlight Rarity is my new favorite Yu-Gi-Oh rarity. Hands down. I have a couple Starlight Rares that I wanted to share with you guys that I've been collecting recently, but even in the short span of time that we've had these cards, I really wanted to go over the history of how the Starlight Rares on release have evolved to what we see today. What we know today of 5 Starlight Rares in every set of just really the best cards of the set. It wasn't how it used to be back in the day in 2019 when these were released. So with the few Starlights that I've collected personally, I want to kind of give you guys a brief history of the Starlight Rarity, where it started and where it's kind of come today. It really came as a surprise to us TCG players in July 2019 with the release of Rising Rampage. The OCG had already gotten their own exclusive rarity in Rising Rampage, but this isn't anything new. You know, we're used to the OCG getting some absolutely gorgeous rarities that we will never get our hands on here. So we really didn't expect too much when they revealed the 20th anniversary Secret Rare. I'll throw a picture of it up on the screen, but it was pretty much the chase card of Rising Rampage, being kind of the same formula. It's very difficult to pull in the core set. All of us TCG players, we said, wow, that's pretty cool. We'll never see that thing. But it actually came as a surprise when spoilers for Rising Rampage came out and people started pulling these full foil rarity cards here, and no one knew what to call them. Essentially, our version of the 20th anniversary Secret Rares, we had these beautiful Starlight Rarities released to us, and they were extremely difficult to get. They were like maybe, if you're lucky, 1 per case. If you're extremely lucky, 1 per case. Funny thing is, we had this new rarity released to us as kind of a surprise, and the also surprising thing is there wasn't a name for it. We really weren't given a name from Konami until at least 3 sets in that these were actually called Starlight Rares. So a lot of players just ended up calling it, you know, Prismatic Secret Rares, which that's really not even a correct term because those were already released way back in like Power of Chaos sets, and also even in the Megatins that year they released the Prismatic Rarity yet again. For starters, I think the OCG only had the Appaloosa printed in that special rarity, but they went off and did their own thing with it, where they would print it in special boxes where you could have easier access to them. But the TCG has stuck tried and true to this formulaic pattern of putting these Starlight Rares as chase cards in core sets. Pretty unique too, you know? It's a foiling that utilizes all this real estate of the card here that normally isn't touched. What I got near me here? I got like a Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Even in Collector Rare, you can see the foiling doesn't really extend past the borders or like the actual image of the card. Anything that's around here, normally this real estate just isn't used. When Yu-Gi-Oh messes with anything that's this territory of the card here, it normally doesn't go well. The last time we really saw anything done with this was the Platinum Rarity, which, ooh, this thing sucks, man. It really makes a foggy card here. It gives like, it's supposed to give this sort of silvery look. Platinum look, I guess you would call it, right? Not even close to the Platinum Rare Blue Eyes. You would get this sort of like foggy card. This foiling would scratch up super easy, and it was released in this dumb like Noble Knights set. So you were like supposed to play it. So when you would play the cards, they'd get damaged so easily. It's just a really weird release. And really, even the last time we saw anything with this parallel foiling pattern was like Hobby League or like the Prismatic Secret Rares. Hobby League, you couldn't even play those cards because they were printed so thick that they would sit in a deck differently, that they had to get banned from tournament play. But they were able to nail it with Starlight Rares to give us this absolutely gorgeous rarity in a playable form. And man, I just absolutely love it here. The formula we've reached now with Power of the Elements, where there's just 5 really good Starlight Rares, one of them, you know, is outside of the set. It wasn't always that way. We started off with Rising Rampage with the newest release of the rarity, where the OCG only got Appaloosa. We actually got 1 Starlight Rarity for every card in each rarity of the set. What does that mean? It means the Appaloosa was the secret rare of the set, definitely the chase card of the set. Absolutely, I've been showing this off for the last minute here. Gorgeous looking card, man. I was able to pick this up through my work with Pro Play Games. From my understanding, they don't do much with Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, but they are killing it with the Digimon scene, dude. All the best of them. Appaloosa was the chase card of this set, one of the best Link 4s ever released at the time, still is one of the best Link 4s, just an absolutely stunning card here. I think anybody would want these on release. But we also got another card here. Win is one that I've been trying to go after for a while. This card filled in the rare slot of Rising Rampage. Win really wasn't expensive to start out. This card, nobody really wanted it. Wind isn't really the most used attribute, so it really didn't come up much in the meta. And it wasn't until recently where you could see applications where you summoning your Wind, you can summon back your opponents like Baron de Fleur would come up. Nevertheless, the green cards looking absolutely stunning in the Starlight technology, but there was 2 other cards released in this set too that got the Starlight treatment. Marinsa Seahorse was an ultra rare of the set, and that's actually aged pretty well with the new Marinsa support, it being a key part of the deck. But at the time, that was a weird one to give, but it was an ultra rare of the set. And then the last one was Storm Dragon's Return, which was a really poopy trap card. that was a super rare of the set. So they checked all the boxes. So that was the formula to start. There was only 4 Starlights, one of every rarity, and that was seemingly what it was going to be actually when we moved into Chaos Impact a couple months later. I actually don't even have a lot from Chaos Impact because besides IP Masquerena, again, the chase card of the set in the ultra rare slot, gorgeous girl there. Goodness, another card that I've picked up through my time with Pro Play games. Probably even should take it out just to give you a better look at it. Absolutely gorgeous lady right there, man. Definitely going to be playable here with sprites coming up. Would hope to see some Avermaxes made with this lovely chick. Yeah, but besides IP Masquerena and Chaos Impact, dude, none of the Starlights are good in that set. Just to read them off, the Secret Rare was Salaman Great Pyro Phoenix. That was the one they picked for a Starlight Rare. They picked Gorgon Evil Eye thing. That card was a super rare. And then Distant Coder will argue with me it's probably the greatest set of all time because the Starlight Unchained Aruha is also a Starlight in that set. But you don't have Rikea as a Starlight either. It's just weird. So again, that's it for Chaos Impact. Just 4 Starlight Rares, 1 of every rarity, checking all the boxes. And you would get really awkward cards. Like, who wants a Starlight Gorgon Evil? Now, I don't know a single person that's played an Evil Eye deck. Moving on, I remember the spoilers for the set as if it was yesterday. We had Ignition Assault. There was just a few cards that you knew were definitely going to be guaranteed the Starlight. Of course, we were on the trend of these lovely Charmers being Starlight Rare. Alsa was the second one released here. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. But it's really weird when you look at a card like Alsa, which is actually one of the more playable Charmers. This was playable in Zodiac format at the time. Pretty cool. But it's weird when you look at this and it's like nearly half the price of every other Charmer. Same thing with another staple in the game that I was happy to pick up is a Lightning Storm in Starlight Rarity. This is one of the first like core staple main deck cards that got this Starlight treatment. I was super stoked to pick these up. Damn, what a beautiful, beautiful card in Starlight Rarity. Let's get a closer look at just one of them. I remember getting one of these through my time with Pro Play games, and I ended up buying the other 2, I'm pretty sure. I actually think I got them both off of Pack, of all people. What a lovely man, dude. I've done a lot of trades with that short guy. Lightning Storm, super beautiful, playable card today. I actually think this card will look really pretty in Ultimate Rare as well, but the Starlight Rare just does something special to me. The other cards in Ignition Assault were no slouch either. There was Rose as the 3rd Starlight Rare. That was the ultra rare of the set, and then Perpetua, the Time Thief, was a super rare of the set. Take a deep breath though, this would actually be the last set where they stuck with the stupid formula of trying to check all those boxes of having 1 of every rarity. It just didn't work, but don't worry, with the release of Eternity Code later that year, another killer set, they actually broke free of that mold. The only card I have from Eternity Code is Area, the Water Charmer. You know, I have the full Charmer set, so I had to be able to pick up the Area. I would venture to say this is definitely the least playable of the Charmers. This has been the one where I don't even think there was a time where it was properly played. I guess you would play it in like water or something. I remember there was something with barrier statues and Gizmek Uka. Somebody can tell me about it. But Area wasn't even the most playable. This is one that I picked up with a massive trade. I got a whole bunch of Cyberdark pieces, PSA 10 off of Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh! In a trade, and actually a video I think a year ago now. I ended up trading all the pieces for a handful of Starlight Rares. I just really didn't have any desire to keep the slabs, and I wanted to be able to play with some of these Starlight Rares that I would have. Area was one of the ones that I got from the trade, and it would definitely help me push towards completing my Starlight Charmer set. This is the second most expensive one just because it is that difficult to get your hands on, but a beautiful card nonetheless. I think Area is definitely probably my favorite. Man, it's tough. That win is gorgeous too. I just really like Area. She's my chick though. What else was in Eternity Code? The other Starlights of the set were Traptrix Alamaris, which was an ultra rare of the set. And then you also have cards like Ghost Mourner and Chamber Dragon Maid. These were both secret rares. So this was the first time, huge thing by the way, that they broke free of that stupid mold. Count it, that's only 4, but this is the first set that also introduced a 5th Starlight Rare, one that was actually a card outside of the set. Their choice for this set, Eternity Code, was Effect Veiler. This was especially interesting because there was already deemed a highest rarity of Effect Veiler in the form of Ultimate Rare. Definitely it's hard to say. This is my second favorite rarity for sure, I think. Recently released alongside Ultra Rares as a higher rarity, more difficult version to get. And if you go way, way back, there was some versions where they were rares, upgraded the Ultimate Rares. These were deemed like the highest rarity of like Effect Veiler you could get. My Effect Veilers have certainly seen better days, not for the faint of heart, if you want to take a look at my bad boys here. These cards were, damn, dude, look at that up there. My bad boys are a little bit beat up, but this was the highest rarity up until you got your replacement here for Starlight Rare. Kind of helpful because these old school Ultimate Rares are notoriously flimsy, kind of scary to play in your main deck if you don't want to damage any cards. I'm just fearless like that, though, so I throw them in anyways. But it gave you the replacement in the form of these Starlight Rares, and it was a really hype release, too, you know? This gorgeous rarity being introduced to these old retro cards, staples, nonetheless, that would see play in most certainly almost every deck for the rest of eternity. Like Eternity Code, you get that? I was definitely not playing there. So yeah, Edko was the first release of a 5th Starlight Rare. Definitely some beautiful cards released in there. And then we got an absolute banger of a set in Rise of the Duelist. I actually don't have a lot of Starlight Rares from Rise of the Duelist besides, again, one of the chase cards being triple Tactics Talon. I think this card looks stunning. Any of the spell cards, really. These staple spell cards just have this gorgeous glow with this Starlight Rarity here. Let's get a closer look at one of them. Keep it clean. Ended up buying 2 of these bad boys, and I traded for one of them. I think I traded a Zeus for one of them because I really wanted a Starlight Zeus. I really wanted his tactics, so I ended up doing a swap for it. Ended up really good for me. Beautiful card. Beautiful card. Happy to have a set of these. It's always one of those cards where, you know, it's just the right format away from being broken. So I'm happy to have the set here. We'll save it for, you know, a couple months from now when it's actually going to be broken. We'll see. Along with the triple tactics, you had Ecclesia as a Starlight Rare as well. The main deck win also got the Starlight treatment, a stupid Gaia card, and then also DD Crow was the retro choice. Another card that was replaced originally from the Ultimate Rarity. This is one that in Storm of Neos originally was a rare, and then it also got upgraded as an Ultimate Rare because I think it was the difference between hobby and retail boxes back then. Could you imagine a world where that system didn't exist and we didn't get rare cards, just rare printed cards as these gorgeous Ultimate Rares? Jesus, bro. DD Crow, stunning looking Ultimate Rare. Let's get a closer look at one. I think any old school player would probably gravitate more towards these just because this is what was the best rarity back in the day too. Stunning card, man. Whoop, don't look at it. Whoop. Seen a little play. Seen some better days, man. He's getting his play. But again, pretty desirable replacement in the Starlight Rarity. Definitely really desirable now with Exo Sisters and it just being really good in the format right now. Consider main decking this. So we started off with just 4 Starlight Rares in every set, and then we moved to this awesome system of having just 5 really solid cards. I think Rise of the Duelist, this is the last time we were really see a poopy card like Gaia get printed in Starlight Rarity. Phantom Rage is actually the one that has aged the best for me. It's the one that I have the most cards in just because I think they're really good. Alpha, the Master of Beast, dude. Another chase card on release. This card's really good right now, actually. I used to have a playset of these that went into the hands of Crush cards, and then now I have another set. Happy to own this one. Definitely this thing comes in and out of side decking play. Still, I think, relatively cheap for how good this card is. You might want to keep your eye on this one. I really like the main deck monsters getting this Starlight Rare treatment. It's a real treat when you're fanning through your deck, you know, to search most recent thing I can think of is Therian King Regulus. Just pops out at you, man. Sometimes it's on the top of your deck and you're like, wow, I really dug through that whole thing for it to be there, but it's okay. Like I said, Phantom Rage being an absolute banger. I also got myself 2 Tri-Brigade Farragut, the Baron Blossom. Played this deck a lot when it was first released. Still definitely playable now, dude. Summon Rescue Cat, still quite powerful. Unfortunately, Eclipsed is a Nadir Servant target. This used to be the flex for the Nadir Servant. The new bird thing from the Power of the Elements is definitely a better send now, just being a straight up draw. But hey, nonetheless, this card, really gorgeous Ultimate Rare to have for a really good deck back in the day there. Still good now, man. What am I talking about? Phantom Rage. I've had a couple Zeuses back in my day. One has made its way into the Crush card's hands, and I think another one has actually made its way... the other one has come from Ruggles. I think this is the one that I got from Ruggles. Only needed 1. It's at 1 in the OCG. I've yet to play a deck where I've played 2. No, I actually think I had a time where I played 2 in a Zodiac deck. This card I still think is super underpriced. Just an absolute behemoth, man. Crazy card released in Phantom Rage. Divine Arsenal, Double A Zeus. I don't know why I'm showing you guys the back of these cards. They're all beautiful. If you see your opponent summon an XYZ, always got to be weary of the Thunder. This guy is an absolute legend. And that's not even the last card from Phantom Rage I have. I have a Hita, which was also the retro choice of Phantom Rage. A little bit disappointing when you're stacking it up compared to, you know, DD Crow and Effect Veiler, but it was one that definitely needed to happen to complete the Starlight Charmer set because this was released just before the Starlight Rare came out. It was the last Charmer. When did this come out? Hold on. I really actually didn't even have to look that up. It was Dark Neostorm. Dark Neostorm was the last booster set that we got in the sort of the simplified formula where there was no chase cards to it. And Rising Rampage, we were then introduced to Starlight Rares. This one was left out. Would have been kind of awkward if it never did get the Starlight Rare treatment. That's all the Starlights that I have from Phantom Rage. As you can see, it's a whole bunch of them. A lot of them are just playable from Phantom Rage. Really powerful set back in the day. And then you want to talk about less powerful. We had Blazing Vortex. Really the only card out of it that even today is worth anything is Pot of Prosperity. Got one of these bad boys from Optimal Partner Mr. Swolax. Absolutely legendary lad there, hooking me up with one of his lovely Prosperities. The other 2 I've just gotten through time. But happy to own this set too. Again, really the only card worth any value in Blazing Vortex anymore. That set's going to just get absolutely pulverized when the Megatons hit. But nevertheless, stunning Starlight Rare. Probably one of my favorite ones. I think in the artworks were really simplified backgrounds, like the Pot of Prosperity, where it's just sort of this galaxy look. That's really where this rarity kind of pops, because it becomes one of the main focal points of it. Damn, just look at that. Yeah, your opponent knows when you activate it. I'm always digging for 6. I'm hitting everything I need with this. That's the only one that I have from Blazing Vortex. You had like the cover card, which was the Armed Dragon level 10 Thunder. Those never did anything. You had like the Heavenly Dragon Miradora hand trap, which never did anything. You had the Lilitreat Live Twin, which was actually kind of cool because the rest of them got Collector Rare treatment. So that was the first one that got this Starlight, and at the time it wasn't anything big, but pretty cool when you would consider later down the line you would get the Frost and stuff in Starlight Rare too. And then the retro card, I actually had to look it up. I completely forgot. It was Trishula. For some reason in Blazing Vortex, they brought one of the strongest water monsters in the game as a Starlight Rare. Trishula had been printed in every goddamn rarity under the sun before this. It even just got an Ultimate Rare print not too long before it got its Starlight Rare treatment. Just an odd choice all around, honest. So that's the only card that I have from Blazing Vortex. And again, Lightning Overdrive, I have Lina from it, of course. Definitely one of the most beautiful Charmers in the Starlight Rarity here. Very, very playable, too. This is actually, I think, the one that ends up in most of my decks when I do put Charmers in at all. This and Dark, definitely stiff competition for it. I actually don't have a lot from Lightning Vortex. Really weird that they didn't pick cards like Diviner and stuff for the Starlight Rare treatment, but one that I'm always speculative was Book of Lunar Eclipse. I know this card isn't good. I really want it to be good. I have a hunch. Not worth too much for this one here, but I just think it's a stunning card to have in the Starlight Rarity. I just love these book cards in general, dude. This one just, it looks so good. Why can't it be playable? Yeah, I have 3 Book of Lunar Eclipse, if it ever becomes playable anytime soon. And then, like I said, we're moving on to more recent stuff where they just kind of sticks with this lovely formula of having just 5 really good Starlight Rares. One is a retro outside of the set. Like in Lightning Vortex, you got cards like Black Rose Dragon, got a beautiful Starlight print to replace, again, the Ultimate, and even the Ghost Rare that it used to have its top-notch treatment. A lot of people will still say the Ghost Rare is the highest rarity of it. Nevertheless, they did give us Black Rose Dragon and Lightning Overdrive as a pretty cool one. And then I actually have 0 cards from Dawn of Majesty and Starlight Rare because I didn't think there was anything too great. But the Starlight Rare retro choice was Stardust Dragon to match with Stardust Synchron, released in the set as well. Definitely some cool replacements to have that are super playable in older retro formats like Edison. I think those are really welcome reprints to have, really cool rarities to own. But I have some more recent ones here. Like I have a Dark. This guy's up in price recently, $600. If you missed it, this is actually probably the most playable of all the Charmers, I want to say. Did I say that before for a different one? I don't know. But if I did, I was lying to you. Dark is probably the most playable. It's been the most playable. Also, the only dude. Love that Dark. And I also have from Battle of Chaos, I have an Illusion of Chaos as well. Looking to pick up a second one of these to have that engine playable. Stunning card here. Ritual. I love just the nice blue hue with the Starlight. Just good. Nice little break from the Link monsters, I got to pick up a couple more bells, but I did get one of them so far. Again, that main deck flare just looks absolutely stunning. Oh, man. I gotta get Mourners as well if I want to, eventually get the full set of Ghost Sisters and Starlight. Really nice one. I've been playing Regulus a lot in the Sun Avalon plants. Like I said, he's an absolute treat popping up in the deck when, I fan him out. And I need to find my one Therian King Regulus. There he is. Handsome as ever. That's the Starlight Rarity contained in their booster sets, but they've also done it with side sets too. Really, I guess one of the first ones you could think is 10,000 Dragon, released in Battle of Legends Armageddon. This is the Astral Rarity Utopia, also released in Armageddon here. The only thing different about the 10,000 Dragon is in the text box here, it would have 10,000 engraved into it. We also got this awesome Astral language here in the Starlight Rarity. This isn't any foreign language. This is Yu-Gi-Oh's own language that they came up with for Zexal. I don't know if it necessarily works. It kind of gives off a vibe like some of the Magic cards that they did for Judge promos, I think, where they just didn't put the text on the card at all. It might as well like not even be on the card because I don't know anybody that's actually trying to read this. Of course, I guess the gimmick is you're supposed to know what cards like Utopia, or eventually they did Leviathan Dragon 2 in this rarity. You're supposed to know what they do, but maybe if you're not a retro player, you wouldn't know. This is really cool, though. Definitely one of the most undesirable prints, the Astral Rarity Leviathan Dragon. I think this is underrated, man, because back in Generation Force, when this thing was first released, a 2500 that you could summon with Tour Guide, immediately search by detaching Sangan, insanity, man. If you want to revisit those retro days, this card's super slept on, but this Astral language, I think it's really flopped. I don't know what other cards they could really print in this rarity. I don't think it's definitely seen the success that it thought it would. They're rare, they're hard to find, but just weird, You You have Utopia printed in every other rarity under the sun too. Collector Rare, Ultimate Rare, you name it. And then the last one I really have from another side set was Brother of Legends. They released Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Originally super playable with the Predaplant Verte Anaconda engine. No longer a desirable card because there's really no easy way to play it. Yes, it's a nice collection piece, you know. I think a lot of people really like the card due to its artwork and maybe like, I guess, the genesis of it. It's Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician. That's tough as fuck. That's awesome. But it is a far cry from its playable days. Definitely didn't stack up to Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer back when he was top dog. Hey, that's got a Starlight Rare now too. That's pretty cool. I think that's everything. That's every Starlight Rare in my collection that I own personally. Like I said, this has absolutely become my favorite rarity. I just love the way they pop out of you. I definitely think there's no other card game that's really done this to the point that Yu-Gi-Oh has. Yu-Gi-Oh just has this awesome grasp on creating these gorgeous foiling technologies that really you wouldn't see any other card game try. Everyone always says, you know, extend the artwork of the card, you know? Let's make an extended art IP Masquerena. Just pull the artwork out. But you really don't need to do that. I really feel like that's something that Magic the Gathering and Pokemon can stick to. But Yu-Gi-Oh's got it down where they just like to mess with the foiling. There's sort of a charm in uniformity, right? Like keeping the border the same, essentially being like untouched like real estate of the card. I like that. And this is the only rarity of recent date that has really pushed that boundary. Collector Rare was a huge success too. But again, it doesn't take up this prime real estate of the card here. I just really like the rules of rarity that are in place for Yu-Gi-Oh! And the ones that Starlight Rares in particular broke. I think they made really cool, collectible centerpieces that are also extremely playable in the hands of people that want to enjoy them. But I'll leave it on you guys. Tell me what your favorite rarity of the game is and why down below. And also, if you enjoyed this kind of just discussion, me showing off some beautiful cards too, plan to do this a lot more in the future. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Which one do I pick for the thumbnail now? That's the real question. Is it just the Appaloosa? It's got to be the Appaloosa, right? No. The win. No, I have the win for a vlog. We're going to do Appaloosa. All right, smile. You're in the thumbnail.